Okay, I made it. Kim Willis here. I tried to do this live yesterday, same time, and I had a power blackout in in the city that I'm living in Phnom Penh in Cambodia. And actually, the last 3 or 4 weeks, been getting blackouts every day, or not every day, but probably 4 days a week, something like that. Most inconvenient. Because, and especially in light of the fact that have not been this area has not been this city has not been prone to blackouts previously, and but all of a sudden, because of massive development that have been happening in this country, it's a boom economy, and this is one of the exciting things about living in this part of the world. The I think the government underestimated just how much increased demand there would be for electricity. So yesterday I had the Facebook Live booked, wanted to do it, and just as I was about to press the button, bang, everything went on me. So I was twiddling my thumbs for the next 3.5 hours. Not quite. I had work to do offline. Anyway, all right. So fingers crossed. Ta-da! No blackouts today. But hey, if the screen goes black on you, you'll know what's happened. Okay. So fingers crossed. Let's see how it pans out. Hi, Frank. Good to see you again. Stephen. Hi, Stephen. We had a chat a month or so ago. Yeah, g'day. You say good day. I say I'm an Aussie, so I say g'day, mate. G'day. G'day. How you going? I can still talk the lingo, although perhaps not quite as pronounced as it was years ago when I was living there. All right. Now, I think this is a topic that's an interesting topic. It's a good topic. It's a bit of a fun topic. And some of you, I guess, will get some value out of it. I certainly hope. I certainly hope you do. I want to give you a couple of takeouts, okay? Because the reality is that, as you probably know, the reality is that most people don't make even $10,000 online, and some of them don't even make $1,000 online. So to get to that level when where you've made 50,000 or more, okay, you're in unique company in a way. There's not that many people that do it, let alone go on and do 100,000 and 1 million and all the rest of it, which I have done, by the way. But I'll get to those trainings later. So I'm just doing it stair step, one at a time. I ran the first in this series. It was called My First 10,000 Online. In a way, that's maybe the most important Facebook Live that I did, because just getting to that first 10,000 or the first 1,000 is a major challenge for so many people who are trying to make money online. So this one extends it, so $50,000 online, so that's 5 times as much. How long did it take to get there? And what did I do to move to catapult from the $10,000 threshold to the $50,000 threshold? So I'll answer those questions. What did I do? Okay. And who else we got here? We've got Amanda. Is that Amanda? Yeah. Amanda. Hi, Amanda. How you doing? Welcome. All right. So first up, oh, by the way, the reason why I'm in Asia at the moment is because I can be. I'm a digital marketer, so I'm not dependent on, my income is not location specific. I'm not dependent on living anywhere. As long as I've got an internet connection, I can travel. And once my children were off my hands, they grew up, they left home, and then unfortunately, sadly, my wife died in 2011, and then a year and a bit later, my mum died. So all of the confluence of life's events happened, and I thought, well, I haven't traveled for 20 years. I haven't been overseas, if you like, been to another country for 20 years. I've been raising a family and looking after my sick wife. So I just thought, the heck with her. Life's too short. I can do it. I can generate income anywhere I like. It doesn't matter. By the way, although I'm currently in Cambodia, and I don't plan to be here forever, but although I do like this little place, this little country, although I'm currently here, I've never made a cent locally. I don't do any business in this country at all. Okay, so there's a good testimony, if you like, the power of online marketing. It doesn't matter as long as you're clear about what countries you want to target, and you've got your messaging right, you've got a good offer and all the rest of it, well, you know, if you want to do some travel, you can do it. You can do it. That's the beautiful thing about the online world. The downside is that it's, in some respects, it's not as easy as doing business in the offline world. Okay, in some respects. In other respects, it's better. But I just like it because of the flexibility and the ability to travel and do things that you want to do. So you're not sort of tied down to anyone, you know, anyone's city or town or whatever. So if you want to spread your wings and take off for 6 months and have some fun, fine, you can do that. All right, okay, Sam, how you doing, mate? Dude, that's amazing. That is amazing. I saw your name yesterday on Facebook, and I thought, gee, I haven't seen Samuth for, I don't know, must be a year or something like that. I haven't seen him on Facebook. It hasn't his name just hasn't popped up. And yesterday, out of the blue, I saw his name there on a sidebar, Facebook. It was a prompter thing. Okay, so welcome, mate. Welcome. Okay, and the last time I met up with Samuth was, I think, in face-to-face, was in Malaysia at a seminar, at a conference. Yeah, so that was great. That would have been 3 or 4 years ago, something like that. All right. Okay. So as I said, I did an initial video. It's like a step 1 video. My first $10,000 online. That would have been a month or so, about a month ago, and I posted that on my new page, $1 Million Tribes. The brand, it's quite a new page, and I'm still kind of sorting it out. But I posted it there. But I thought I'd post this one via my personal profile so that more people could perhaps have access to it or see it. So yeah, the $50,000 online. Now, the money that I made for many years was directly as a result of affiliate marketing. Okay, so I didn't have any products, I didn't have any services, I wasn't a coach, I didn't package up my own services or anything like that. It was pure and simple, just affiliate marketing. Even though I probably could have done those things, I could have developed some kind of a product. But I feel that I just didn't have the credibility because I was totally new to the world of online marketing. So I was a green person. I was a newbie, just like many of you probably are. I was a newbie. So I thought, well, you know, I don't have the right to be posturing myself as some kind of a, you know, online guru or expert or, you know, a successful person. So I'll just sell someone else's products. And so I found a business model that I liked. It was a higher ticket thing. I wasn't selling $30 ebooks. I made that quick decision when I was evaluating this online world. I thought, nah, that's for idiots. There's no way, $30 ebook, give me a break. So I looked for something that had a higher price point, okay, and that delivered a good commission. So I thought, well, I'm going to do affiliate marketing. I want to, as opposed to MLM. I looked at MLM and I decided, no way, no how. I had it in the back of my mind that I was going to travel. This was back in 2006. I had it in the back of my mind that at some point in the future, I wanted to see more of the world. And I felt that affiliate marketing would be better, more location independent. So I decided not to do that. And the other thing is that I needed faster cash flow. So I found something that it offered a $1,000 commission. And that seemed to be pretty good to me. That's $1,000 US. So in Aussie dollar, that translated to $1,400 or something like that. And I thought, okay, well, that sounds pretty good to me. It was a digital product, it was a course, and I didn't have to worry about product creation or anything like that. So then it really just came down to generating leads. I had no idea how to do that, didn't have a clue. Fortunately, I had 2 people who helped me. The initial lady, Tanya, we became very good friends. And then when she couldn't answer some of my questions, she introduced me to her colleague, John, from Perth in Western Australia, and John helped to take me to another level. And I just need to, I hope I don't forget to give you the big takeout that John gave me, okay, in that first month as an online newbie. A big takeout. I'll come back to it. I just hope I don't forget. Remind me, okay, remind me. Okay, before we continue, who else have we got here? Raymond. Hi, Raymond. How are you? Jolene. Did I pronounce that right? Jolene or Jolene? John? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Samoth, it was 2000. Yeah, well, I think it was 2017. Yeah, 2017. Actually, Samoth was, I believe, was born in Cambodia, and he comes back from time to time, but he's based in Perth, in WA, Western Australia. All right, so just a quick recap on what happened to get me to that first $10,000 level. Pretty simple. The strategy was simple. The execution was not simple, as you would expect. It's never simple when it comes to the execution of a strategy. But the strategy was simple, generated leads online, and then I phoned them. That was it. I phoned them. So that's an offline activity, isn't it? But the product itself was online. It was delivered online to customers, number one. And number two, the primary way I was taught to generate leads was using online methods, which is what I wanted to do. So that's what I did. So my mentor, Tanya, she helped me set up an account with Google AdWords. That was back in the days when you could use Google AdWords for this type of thing. You can't do that now. Okay, so don't even try. You'd be wasting your time, I reckon. But yeah, so she helped me do that, and within 24 hours, I started to get a trickle of leads, a few leads being reported into my inbox. And that was pretty exciting to me because it validated that, hey, at least from a lead generation point of view, this online stuff works. All right, now we get to the hard part. How am I going to convert these leads into buyers? Oh, okay. So Tanya gave me some tuition on what to say on the phone and all of that, and we did a few rehearsals. And I got to tell you, I was terrified of using the phone. I really was. I did not like the phone. I'm the sort of guy that would prefer to jump in the car and travel halfway across town to knock on the door and see somebody than to pick up the phone. I just had this phobia about the phone. That and spiders. Well, the good news is that I overcame my fear of the phone within about a week and a half, but I was still scared of spiders. So there you go. I also had a fear of public speaking, but I'd already overcome that one well before 2006. So yeah, so I had to overcome the fear of the phone. So finally, I bit the bullet within about 48 hours of getting those first leads, and I started to call them. Did I make a mess of it? Yeah, I did. Made a total mess of it. I was nervous. I was stuttering, stammering, you name it. I followed the script that they gave me, but I can tell you that by about the middle of the next week, I just decided that script was not for me. So I told Tanya, I said, Tanya, I cannot do this script thing. It's not natural. It's not real. It's not authentic. It's not me. What I'd like to do is to use more of a consultative approach, whereby I ask people questions and I listen closely and intensely to their answers. And then I see if I can help them. And if I think this product will help them, I'll recommend it. If I don't, I'm going to tell them straight out, I don't think this is a good fit. And she said, oh, that won't work. That won't work. This is not the way we do it and all that, This is our cookie cutter method. You just read the script and you'll do well. I said, well, I can't do well. I can't do it. I've been trying for almost a week and it's not working. So, I had to try something else. Otherwise, I'm kaput and I'll fail in this industry. And I really don't want to fail. I want this online thing to work. So she grudgingly, she grudgingly said, okay, well, you do come from a bit of a marketing background in the offline world, so I respect your decision. That was it. So I tried a new approach, and I just basically threw away the script that had been typed up and printed off, and I just had a few little prompter questions that I like to ask people, and I just started calling them. And I started asking them questions. As I said, I listened intently. I did all of that. And I just came from a position of helpfulness. And just by being helpful, by thinking about their situation, their issue, the people that I'm talking to, they started to warm up to me and they started to kind of metaphorically lean forward. And I could sense it on the phone that they were really buying into what I was on about. And so that's basically what happened. And then a couple of weeks later, I had my first sale. So that was before the end of the first month, and that translated in Aussie dollars was $9,200. Not quite the 10, but still good enough for me. I was happy with that, and that was in 2006. Okay, so that was it. And then the next month I did better, reaching the $50,000 level. That took just under 90 days. Okay, as a part-timer, because I still had to commute to the office to do my day job, what you might call a job. It was something that I was running with my wife. Actually, it was a business, but I was still kind of a slave to the clock and all the rest of it. So I had to do that. But after that first month, that foundational month, I got excited and I said to my wife, I said, hey, this online stuff, I'm going to do this for the rest of my life. And here I am. What was it? 12 years later, I'm still here, still committed, still excited, enthusiastic, a believer. Yeah, so the $50,000 threshold, it wasn't that hard actually, because once I had that early those breakthroughs in the first month, all I had to do was rinse and repeat in months 2 and 3, which is what I did. So the second month was I think it was $18,000. It's a pretty good increase, or $17,000, pretty good increase on the first. And then the third month, not quite as spectacular, but it was still pretty good. And it was well over $20,000. I think it was about 26,000, something like that. So I made that 50,000 in the first 3 months. Now, of course, in less than 3 months. Now, of course, I need to add a caveat, and the caveat is your results are probably not going to be the same as mine. And in fact, it's highly likely that they won't be. They may be better than mine. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that you can't make more money. But for most people, and I'm talking 95+%, they're not going to be as good as that. Even in 2006 dollars, it's not going to be good in 2019. Even not adjusting for inflation, it's just not going to be as good for most people. I don't want to take away hope or anything like that, but oftentimes when we start something, our success will partly be dependent on what we bring to the table. Okay, so if we bring a bit of money, so I could afford. I had a little bit of funding for advertising, right? So I was running these ads on Google with Google AdWords. So I had that. If you don't have that kind of money, but I spent $650 in my first month. I'm happy to share it. Second month, I upped it because I thought, well, I made $9,000. By the way, I didn't make all of it from advertising. I did tap into my little warm market, and that's a pretty good takeout, because I'm a great believer in tapping into warm market. If you've got existing contacts, I know a lot of people say, oh, I don't want to talk to people that I know and all that sort of stuff. Well, you think it's preferable to talk to strangers that don't trust you, don't like you, don't know you, haven't got a clue who you are? Doesn't make sense to me. It makes sense to plug into your existing asset. So I did some of that, and that definitely contributed to my early success, no doubt about it. But that said, the advertising to cold audience worked as well. My job when I got onto the phone with them was to kind of befriend them and develop some trust early on. Trust is so critical. We have to develop trust, and there are different ways of doing it. You can do it with online methods, of course, but I was just on the phone and they hear my voice and I ask them questions. I took a consultative approach, as I said, and they started to warm to me. Okay, so the trust factor started to happen, and I think, believe it or not, some of them started to like me as well. So that's basically it. To move from that first month, a bit under 10,000, to the third month, where cumulatively I'd made my first 50,000. It was before 3 months. Basically, I just doubled down. I doubled down on what I did in the first month, duplicated in the second month. I increased my ad spend to $1,200 from $650 to $1,200. Third month, I actually cut back on the advertising, because I had enough momentum. I had people in the pipeline that I was talking to, etc. So I was able to cut back. I can't remember how much I cut back to. It might have been $800 or $900 or something like that. Okay, so that was good. Yet my income went up, which was even better. I I had my warm audience, as I said. I had some people that I already knew in the offline world. So some of those people got on board with me, which was great. But what I started to do in the second month and towards the third month as well, and even into the third month, was that I started to do a little bit of offline. I know this is, okay, sort of a bit counterintuitive here. I'm doing online marketing, on offline activities. Yeah, I did a little bit of offline networking. So I joined a meetup. Okay, it was a personal development meetup, law of attraction meetup. I had a mild interest in the topic. Okay, well, perhaps a bit more than mild, but I had some books and I'd read books. I'd read Bob Proctor books and all of that. I knew quite a bit about what he was on about and other people besides. So I thought, okay, well, I have an interest in that topic, and I found a meetup, and I went along there and I became a regular member there. And lo and behold, I got some business out of it. I generated some leads, and you know, not great, not a huge amount, but it was just, it all helped, you know, it all went into the mix. Okay. But my primary focus was still online. So I just kept running the ads, just as Tanya had told me initially. I didn't have a Facebook account, never heard of Facebook. I had no idea what Facebook was. 2006, I think they were still very much a baby, fledgling kind of a business. But, you know, I think there was one called MySpace. I joined that, but I had no idea how to use it, so I didn't bother so much. So it was mainly just paid advertising and a little bit of offline networking. That's basically what happened. And then so in less than 3 months, we got to that level. I got to that level. And then towards somewhere, well, another few months after that, I crossed the 100,000. So that was good to do that in the first year. I mean, I know I'm not bragging. I'm not doing anything like that. I'm just saying that it is possible if you have all of the different elements in place. So maybe you've got a bit of money for advertising. That's number one. You've got a high ticket offer. I still recommend high ticket. I don't do affiliate marketing anymore, by the way. I sort of left that alone on the whole for many years now. But even with services, packaging up your own services and things like that, I believe in the high ticket model, because you can't deliver a good outcome for people if you don't charge properly, okay, for your services. So, you know, selling a premium service at a nickel and dime price is not a smart way to operate, not a good way to run a business. So that's basically it. Now, going back to what John told me, that second mentor who came onto the scene a week or two after I joined, here's what he told me. This is what he said. He said, Kim, all you need to do is to have 3 to 4 quality conversations a day and you'll make 6-figure money, no problem at all. I said, really? He said, yeah, 3 to 4. He said, don't be consumed about making sales because it puts too much pressure on you. Just focus on quality activities. And if you're doing the quality things on a daily basis, the money will take care of itself. Wow, that blew me away, because it took a lot of pressure off. And I think a lot of us feel under too much pressure sometimes, particularly when we're new. And we feel, I've got to make a sale. I've got to make a sale. I have to make a sale. But, you know, if you haven't made any sales before, you're making it very hard for yourself. You're making it very hard for yourself, and it may scramble your brain. You're just so focused on getting this outcome. Whereas what John was saying, he said, look, the outcomes you need to focus on are more activity outcomes. Because if you do the good activities, if you have a few quality conversations a day, the rest of it should take care of itself. The money will just flow out the back end as a result. It's just a process. So take the pressure off yourself, focus on these quality activities each day, score yourself a win every day. You're looking for small wins every day. So I just took on board what he was saying. I said, right, makes sense to me. I'm a good student. Okay, so if I give myself one pat on the back, it is this, it is that. I am a good student. If somebody tells me somebody I respect, I've got to respect them. I have to respect them, as you would. But if I respect them and they say, this is what you need to do. You need to jump and you need to jump in this direction. I say to them, okay, I'll jump, and how high do you want me to jump? And I'll do it, right? So you need to be a good student. You definitely need to be a good student. So if you're fortunate enough to have access to a personal mentor or a coach, someone like that, well, you've got to basically fall in behind them and do what they ask you to do, for goodness sakes. You're paying them good money. So just, follow what they say. They know more than you. So that's what I figured. I figured, hey, I'm a newbie. I know nothing about this online world. So I am going to, if John tells me this is what I need to do, I need to be focusing on 3 to 4 quality conversations a day. Great. Now, fast forward to 2019, I don't do phone calls anymore. I don't need to do them. I don't do, phone calls, old-fashioned phone calls where we dial numbers. I don't do that anymore. That would be, well, it'd be very rare. I still have voice conversations with people, but today it's more like Facebook, voice call, or a video call, Zoom, okay, or Skype, okay? So they're the three platforms that I would use. But here's the other thing. Instead of phoning 10, 15, 20 leads a day, which is what I was doing. I've called over 10,000 leads since then, since 2006. Instead of doing that, I'll only do voice calls, maybe 3 a week. That's it. So from 15 to 20 to 30 calls a day, I'll only do maybe 3 calls a week, but they're the quality calls that I'm looking for, right? Quality activities produce quality outcomes. Quality activities produce quality outcomes. So I just look for the sort of people that I would like to work with. I chat with them using text on Facebook, typically, but not always, but quite often. Sometimes it's on Twitter. And if I feel that they're the sort of person I'd like to work with, sort of person that I'd like to do business with, they're on my wavelength, blah, 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 okay, then I'll suggest a voice call. So I've kind of flipped it, I've flipped it so that instead of doing a lot of calls, now I just do a few. Now, if you're trying to make money online, and particularly if you're promoting something that is more significant than just selling a little itty-bitty ebook or something like that, may I suggest that you embrace this idea of doing voice calls? Voice calls? Yeah, I think they're fantastic. Now, don't get me wrong. I've made plenty of sales using just Facebook Messenger text, plenty of sales, but they were smaller ticket sales. Okay, they were kind of first level sales, all right? But if you've got something more significant to promote, you need to do a voice call with somebody so that you can instill more belief, so that they can hear your voice and feel comfortable about maybe doing business with you. So that's another takeout that I've got for you today. If you haven't been doing voice calls, do it. And if you've got a fear about, talking to people on well, I was going to say on the phone, but you know what I mean, on Skype or something like that, well, the best way to overcome the fear is just to do half a dozen of them, and by the end of series, you should be fine. You should be good to go, and then you'll become more effective. All right, Mick, how you doing, Mick? Good to see you. I was thinking of people affiliate marketing for me. Yes, you can do that. You can build teams. No doubt about it. Depends on what you're promoting. Is it an MLM thing? I think it is. I think you mentioned to me that it's an MLM. Yeah, hi Mike. Good to see you. Rod, hi Rod from Brisbane. How you doing, mate? Haven't spoken to you for a while. All right. Okay. So, all right. So that's more or less it. Unless you've got some questions, it's pretty simple. As I said, I just doubled down on what I did in the first month, and I just repeated it, rinse and repeat job in months 2 and month 3. Now, the next video that I do, I'll probably do the $100,000 one. What did I do to get to 100? Because that was more of a stretch. And it wasn't exactly rinse and repeat, because after I crossed that $50,000 threshold, I started to experience some headwinds. I did. The advertising was not working as well. Okay. So I started the online thing in October 2006, and I noticed that by about February, the ads were not doing as well, and so I had to deal with that problem. I had to deal with it, and I dealt with it in a couple of different ways. So my next video in the series will talk about how I dealt with it, and as always, I'll make sure that I give you a takeout, a lesson, something that you can take from my story and apply it to your own situation. And because not everybody is an affiliate marketer, I know that. Not everybody comes from that place. Some of you are coaches and consultants. Some of you have got other types of businesses, more offline, traditional businesses where you're dealing with physical products, perhaps. And then some of you are in network marketing, MLM, etc. So although I can't exactly tailor make a message for each of the different business types or the different business categories, I can still, I think, give you takeouts that you can apply, principles that you can apply to your own situation. So I'll do that, and that next one in the series, you know, how I reached this level and that level and so on. I'll probably do the next one. I'll try and do it next week, okay? But in the meantime, I will run some other Facebook Lives. I'll either run them from my personal profile here, or I'll run them from my Facebook page, or I'll probably do one next week from my group, which brings me to the point about the group. I have quite a good group. It's a pretty good group. It's not a huge group. It's more of a boutique kind of a thing. And it's got about 1,300 members in it. And it's most of the time it's quite lively. It's a discussion group, not a spammy group, not a pitch group or anything like that. So if you join it, you don't come to it with that way of thinking. But if you want to learn more about tribe building, building warm audiences, generating leads from warm audiences, etc., you can join the group. It's called Tribe Builder Community. And if you want to join it, you can just say yes in the comments there, and I'll give you a link. I'll PM you, send you a PM with a link, and you can join it. And there's 3 questions you need to answer. But if you do that, we will be happy to have you involved. So are there any other questions? By the way, how many people here, how many people on this call have made their first $10,000? Forget the $50,000, $100,000 and all of that. First 10. You made your first 10 yet? Because I think, in a way, I think that's probably the hardest one. In a way. Has anybody done that? You made your first 10 grand online. I'm not talking about offline activities. I'm talking about online. You made your first 10,000 online yet? Anyone? Anyone want to fess up? Yahira. Hi, good to see you. Yeah, anyone want to contribute? Or are we shy, or maybe you haven't made much money, or maybe you've done well? Anyone want to share something? No? Okay. All right. Well, if that's it, I think that's it. I think I've covered it. Basically, look for small wins every day. If you're on a winning formula, double down on it until it stops working, and then you have to figure out something else. And that my next video in this series will show you what I did to solve that problem with the advertising not working as well. Okay, I'll tell you about that on the next video in the series. Small wins every day. Aim to have several good conversations a day, even if they're text-based conversations. All right, voice calls are higher level in my opinion, but text-based, just on Messenger or something like that. Text-based conversations. How many good quality conversations are you having a day with people? If you're going to make money on a platform like Facebook, that's what it comes back to. It's not just about posting feel-good stuff on your personal profile. It's not about that at all. That has very little to do with it. Okay. It's about if you're going to be posting content, it needs to be authority-boosting content. It needs to be valuable content. But it's also about the relationships that you build. And the first step in the process would be to talk to people on Messenger. All right. So you need to be having conversations every day with people, and you're wanting quality conversations. You want to have a conversation that maybe lasts for 5 or 10 minutes, something like that. not just something that's like yes, no answers, right? You want something that where you ask questions and you're getting a response and you're having a chat, and you're not interrogating people, you're just interested, you're curious, you come from a point of being helpful. You're helpful. You want to be helpful. You want to help people solve their problems, whatever it is that is relevant for your niche, okay? So be helpful. Come from that good place. Sure, you want to do it with commercial intent. That's important. And some people go overboard. They're too helpful sometimes, and they forget about, hey, I'm running a business here. I've got to generate revenue, right? Well, of course. So you need to have some commercial intent, but steer away from just wham bam thank you ma'am. Steer away from pitching and hustling and doing all that kind of stuff, because all it does is it tarnishes your brand that you're presumably trying to build, and it alienates people. And who wants to do that? You know, I want to build relationships with people that like me and respect me, and you know, perhaps at some point in the future want to do business with me. And I think you'd be the same. You'd be the same. All right. Okay, Penny. All right. Well, for the people who joined late, oh, thanks, Rod. Great, mate. Yeah, Penny, for those who joined late, you'll be able to pick up the replay on my personal profile, Kim Willis. You'll be able to do that. If you want to join the group, make a request or just say yes or something like that in the comments. And if you're already in the group, I know some of you are, I see some familiar names there, already in my group. Well, if you haven't been active, get active. We're doing stuff all the time. And if you've got issues, problems with your marketing, you can ask questions in there and you will get some help. I gave help to somebody yesterday that had a problem with LinkedIn, believe it or not. He was posting, he's been running a little campaign on LinkedIn, which is another social media platform. Well, it's more like it's less social, more business, but he was having problems with it. So he asked a question and he got help. He got help for free. He didn't pay for it. He got some free help in that group. So if you're already in the group, get active, make a contribution, and value will flow back to you. I'm a huge believer in the value for value exchange. Okay, so I'm a huge believer in that. So if you're in the group already, get active. If you're not in the group, well, you can join it and we'll give you a warm and hearty welcome. All right, what does Mick have to say before I close off? I had to leave a couple of minutes. We'll rewatch in the center. That's great, Mick. Mick is from Canada. All right, okay, folks. Well, that's it. I shall tune out now. Have a good day, good evening, whatever it is for your time zone. Hope you got some value for that. And if you're watching the replay, watch it closely. There's some gold nuggets in there, I think. All right, Kim Willis, bye for now. Bye-bye.